This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition. Covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
Ignition, back on the air. What's up, everybody? This is a special late week edition of the Ignition podcast. If you're new to the show, we mix it up. NHRA Nitro this week was fantastic. So much great news. And we're going to keep it going on this high-speed version of WFO Ignition, where we cover NASCAR and Formula One and whatever else we want to discuss. Now, one of the things I told my NHRA Nitro listeners was that they could check out Ignition to find out how to win tickets to Homestead Miami Speedway for Ford Championship Weekend. I am going to tell you now, if you are going to be in sunny South Florida the week of the race or can come here, send me an email, joe@wforadio.com, and I will try to hook you up with tickets. Simple as that. I know I said it was going to be complex and complicated, and that was all a ruse. It is not true. It is easy. You just have to be able to use them. And the folks at Homestead Miami Speedway have been giving us tickets the past couple of years because they know we reach beyond the state, beyond the city, and bring people to sunny South Florida to watch Ford Championship Weekend. So, this is like final call, though. Final call. If you can use the tickets and you're planning to be down here for Ford Championship Weekend, for Homestead Miami Speedway, the final race of the NASCAR season, and see whoever it is that wins the championship, email me, joe@wforadio.com, and tell me you can use the tickets and put in the subject line, I can use the tickets. Just like that. I tell you right at the beginning of the show, I don't even drag it all out. All right. Let's get into it. Talladega, very interesting race. Aric Almirola gets the win. Stewart Haas Racing, total domination. Really total domination. The top four, pretty much both stages. Kurt Busch won the first one. Kevin Harvick won the second one. In the end, there was a late race caution. Caused people to rethink their fuel strategy. And in the end, Aric Almirola bested Clint Bowyer. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished third. Kevin Harvick pulled off the track to get fuel. Kurt Busch ran out of fuel. And just a tough deal. That late race caution sent the race into overtime. And then in overtime, there was another caution, and they raced back to the stripe, at which Kurt Busch ran out of fuel, or a little before. Now, some people were wondering, should they have thrown the caution before or done another restart? And the answer is no. They could race back, and people love discussing those kind of things. Here are your final results. Aric Almirola gets the win. Let's hear from Aric Almirola after winning at the Dega. He won the Dega, and most importantly, advanced.
We've been chasing those Penske cars. We talked about it in here Saturday. We've been chasing Penske at the restrictor plate races. They've been able to do somewhat of what we did today, where they get out front, and Brad and Joey and Paul and Blaney, get organized and basically dominate the race. And today we were able to do that. We stayed so committed to each other. We worked every restart out to where we stayed committed to each other and got in line. And it was us against the field. And when we started to drive off from the field in that first stage, as the stage went on, I knew we had something special. I knew one of our four cars was going to win. And just by, happenstance that we were the ones that qualified fourth, I kept being the third or fourth guy in line. And it was like, man, this is nice that we're all four running together, but I'm scoring less stage points than Bowyer, and I'm racing him in points. And eventually we're going to have to try and win this race, or we're going to have to separate and start fending for ourselves. And that opportunity, honestly, never really presented itself. It seemed like the way the race played out, there was such long green flag runs that we would get committed to each other. And then as we would drive away from the field, me being the fourth guy in line, I never really had anybody behind me to help me make a move on my teammates. So it was an incredible day for us as an organization at Stewart Haas Racing, and I am so proud and so thankful for the opportunity to be driving these race cars.
Aric Almirola picks up the win. Remember, we interviewed Aric at the start of the season, and he said he was going to have his best season ever, and he is in that 10 car. Aric Almirola getting the job done. Clint Boyer second, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Joey Logano fifth, A.J. Allmendinger sixth, Jimmy Johnson seventh, Eric Jones eighth, ninth Paul Menard, 10th Regan Smith, 11th Kyle Larson, Brendan Gaughan 12th, Trevor Bayne 13th, Kurt Busch 14th, was leading and really had a dominant race. That's just unfortunate. Fuel mileage. My opinion is that Aric Almirola was able to save fuel running fourth in that 4-car train and just chilling. Used the least amount of fuel, had the most at the end. Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, Joey Gase, Bubba Wallace, Lord Byron, Chris Buescher, Landon Castle, Martin Truex Jr. was 23rd. Ross Chastain, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch 26th. Brad Keselowski 27th. Kevin Harvick 28th. Ryan Blaney 29th. Matt DiBenedetto, Chase Elliott, who has already advanced. Corey LaJoie, Alex Bowman 33rd. DJ Kennington, Jamie McMurray, J.J. Yaley, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Cody Ware, David Reagan, Michael McDowell rounding out the field of the 1000bulbs.com 500, and it's a light bulb website. A lot of people were mentioning, like, that's a weird name. It's a light bulb website. And I went on there. I got to say, I went on there and I looked around because I like light bulbs. I like light. I like light bulbs. I love lamp. All of these things. And it's kind of cool. The LED light bulbs have fundamentally changed everybody's lives, I think. I think they're some of the greatest things that you will see. Now, it is a big week in that Formula One is coming to the United States of America. F1 at Circuit of the Americas. And if you are a WFO radio listener and you are going to Circuit of the Americas, we want you to take pictures and post pictures and put them up on our Facebook page and tweet them at us and all of that stuff. We are super excited if any WFO radio listeners are out there at Circuit of the Americas. We'll get into Formula One. This is going to be an abbreviated edition, a high-speed edition, probably no Giovanni in Miami either, for many reasons. But I wanted you to get a late in the week WFO Ignition. Cup is headed to Kansas, the Hollywood Casino 400. I know that is going to be a great crowd. Dega was a great crowd. That place was packed. That's good to see. That there are some places that, regardless of what's going on, they're going to pack the place, and the Dega was able to represent, and I have a feeling that Kansas is going to represent. Now, we will do a little sports collision at the very end, but not a big one without the Giovanni in Miami. And, schedule, situation, poker show, early in the week, all that, travel. I will be in town this weekend. And we got something cool going on related to Formula One as well that I will let you in on. Now, something I did notice, though, before we move on from Talladega, one second to last race with the plates. Restrictor plate. No longer. Following the Daytona 500. That is interesting. 2, some penalties handed out. Kyle Larson. Those guys, unapproved fixes to the cars. There are certain rules about what you're allowed to fix before you go back out on the racetrack. And they fixed things in ways that are unapproved. Interesting. But something else that I noticed, and there was a little bit of discussion about it. The Stewart Haas racing cars totally dominated this race. They found something, right? They found something. Go back and look at the cars and notice that they are, you remember when they would kick them out? The rear of the car would be closer to the outside wall. Now they are kicked in, closer to the infield. Notice that. That obviously has something to do with it, in my opinion, obviously. But big day for Stewart Haas Racing. Aric Almirola fourth in both stages. Clint Boyer second in both stages. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick swapping first and third in those two stages. A dominant day for Kurt Busch. Led 108 laps, but in the end ran out of fuel. Good race, exciting race. for parts of it, good racing, but when one team that is a 4-car team figures something out, they are going to dominate, and that is exactly what happened. WFO Ignition, brought to you by some sponsors, and I know you guys are listeners. You listen to podcasts. Hopefully you're all subscribed, and you have the downloaded app, and you've enabled push notifications, and you are living the WFO universe experience. You are in on it. That would be great. But we've got some great sponsors that, coming the holidays, you might want to keep in mind some of these names, like audible.com/WFO Ignition. Fact of the matter is, you can start your free 30-day trial. That's what we want you to do. Audible.com/WFO Ignition. Start your free 30-day trial. You get one audiobook a month, exclusive sales, 30% off all regularly priced audiobooks. You get the great listen guarantee. If you don't like it, you can swap it, which that's really important, right? If you don't like it, someone's voice, it's an audiobook, so there are voices. There are people who just can't stand certain voices. I've had it happen with me. People they just can't get with it. And what can you do about that? Nothing. You can't do anything about it. But also, in addition to audible.com/WFO Ignition, we have got some great supporters of the NHRA Nitro show, like HusseyPerformance.net. Sean Bellemere winning that title with HusseyPerformance.net on the side. If you're an engine builder, you should be getting your copper gaskets from Hussey. CatSpotLitter.com, e-commerce, all you men out there who listen to the show, and we know it's probably 80 to 90% men out there. If your wives are in charge of the cat litter purchases, put this on their desk. CatSpotLitter.com. They'll never have to carry another bag. RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Black Friday is coming. It's right around the corner. Don't deal with any of that. Get your Christmas gifts at our sponsors like RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Bag of coffee, hot sauce, spice rub. Everyone will love you. They will appreciate it. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. If you got somebody you really want to send to something great, send them on the Dragster adventure. Samtech.edu for those who want to enter the field of high-performance engine building or high performance, maybe even CNC machining. Motorsportsguys.com. They still got the Vegas Tribute hat. Use the promo code WFO. The hat will be free. When you purchase oil or parts or pieces, they got Can-Am air filters. They've got everything at motorsportsguys.com. Aerospacecomponents.com. Kim Cussey and the team. Brakes, shifters, vacuum pumps, everything made of billet for the most part, located in Tampa Bay area of Florida. Hangstifer's Metalworking Lubricants. The PRI trade show. If you're going to PRI, you got to swing by the Hangstifer's booth. PRI, going to be great. Antron's going to be there. Tommy Johnson's going to be there. And I will definitely pass by the Hangstifer's Metalworking Lubricants booth. Go to Hangstifers.com. If you've got a shop and you're not using Hangstifers, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? We've got a really great base of sponsors that support WFO Radio. All right, this weekend out there in Kansas, it is a cutoff race. And it is never more clear than when NASCAR.com tries to explain the clinch scenarios, how complicated the point system has become. If this, then that kind of thing. Like Alex Bowman needs to win. That's it. Simple. Needs to win. But Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski would clinch with a win, obviously, but otherwise need help. Martin Truex Jr. Would clinch on points with 38 points if there's a repeat winner, like one of the other guys have won, but could clinch on points with a new winner, and he gets some help. So Truex, a little sketchy. Boyer needs 52 points with a new winner. If there's a repeat winner, he only needs 35 points. Kurt Busch needs 44 points with a new winner, but if there is a repeat winner, he only needs 26. Joey Logano needs 35 points with a new winner, but would clinch with 17 points if there was a repeat winner. Kyle Busch needs 28 points if there's a new winner, but if there's a repeat winner, he would need 10. And Kevin Harvick would clinch on points with just 11 points and a new winner. If there's a repeat winner, then he clinches, regardless of his finish. Somebody other than Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, or Martin Truex Jr. Wins, he would clinch. And so there you go. Scenarios headed to Kansas. Now, also going on this weekend is Circuit of the Americas, Grand Prix of the United States. And I am thrilled about this because, to me, it is all about Haas F1. Lewis Hamilton can clinch the championship if he wins and Vettel finishes third, the way I understand it. If Vettel finishes second behind Lewis, the championship goes on one more week to Mexico, where he will clinch it. And so it's over. But what is not over is Haas F1. And now it is time for your Haas F1 report. Haas F1 is battling Renault for fourth in the constructors' standings. That is what matters. For those of you who are new to Formula One, there are always two championships to discuss. The Drivers' Championship, which is about a single driver that is on a team, and the Constructors' Championship, which is vastly more important. We make a big deal of the Drivers' Championship, but the teams care about the constructors. And Renault is a large and legacy car manufacturer. They build their own engines. They build everything. They are in a scrap with Haas F1, a third-year startup American team. You would think that Haas F1 would use this opportunity at Circuit of the Americas to showcase what they are all about. They are 8 points behind Renault for the status that is best of the rest. Not Mercedes, not Ferrari, not Red Bull. This is something to root for. You might not be a Mercedes fan. You might not be a Ferrari fan. You might not be a Red Bull fan. This is what fandom is all about. Finding a way that your team can go out and be successful and rooting for it to happen. So it's Haas F1 versus Renault. Down the stretch, how about we make a move out here at Circuit of the Americas? And I would imagine Haas, which is a great American story, making CNC machines accessible to the shop owner and small manufacturer, is now running up against beating McLaren, beating Force India, beating Toro Rosso, and now has a shot to beat Renault. I think it is great. And we'll be watching all that Circuit of the Americas stuff going on this weekend. Formula One doing a appearance in Miami. Red Bull going to do one of their Formula One festivals here in South Florida, and they got some interesting stuff going on. They've got some interesting stuff here in sunny South Florida. You go to Formula1.com festivals. On the 20th, they're going to have helicopter aerobatics. They're going to have a driver out there. I think it's Emerson Fittipaldi. They're going to do a live car run with Red Bull Racing and Renault Sport Formula One, hopefully around the proposed track. And they've got concerts at night, 6:30 to 8:30, live DJ, all that stuff. And then Sunday, there will be a screening of the race at 2:10 downtown at Bayfront Park. Which, I don't know. I feel like, and Giovanni in Miami, if he was here, he would be saying, and I will just repeat what he suggested because he is absolutely right, this should have happened last week. You do the live car run, you bring out Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, you get some real star power there. This weekend, it cannot happen because the star power is in Austin, Texas, baby. It just doesn't seem to be a good, I guess there's a race in America on this given weekend, and that's good, but Miami wants real star power. That's just how Miami goes. All right, now I'm going to move over to fantasy racing. And yes, it's late in the week, so you're going to get a high-speed edition of Ignition because it is always our goal to make sure you guys, the listeners, you get something entertaining. Now, we definitely want you to go back and check out NHRA Nitro if you haven't. But let's face it, what we heard on NHRA Nitro was just epic. Steve Torrance and Ron Capps. How about Ron Capps? Ron Capps got hit by a tow vehicle and thought his leg was broken. That is shocking. And he toughed it out. He went to the doc. And I can imagine that some people, I don't know, I would be annoyed that that kind of stuff is kept private. I think it shows you that, people's privacy comes first. both Robert Height and Rod Capps, it would have only been a negative if John Q. Public got on their Facebook page and started questioning their conditions before going to the doctor, right? And you know that's exactly what would happen. Guy with a Facebook page would write up a story, I can't believe this, and we shouldn't allow, and blah, blah, blah. And it could have factored in. Instead, they both go to the doctor. The doctor says, no, you're good to go, and they come out and they race. The doctor, not some guy on his Facebook page, who in our modern culture has the ability to alter outcomes. All right, here we go. The 1000bulbs.com 500 Fantasy League. This is very important. It is for your name on the trophy in the most difficult fantasy league on the planet. The weekly winner, get this, Giovanni in Miami. Had Joey Logano, Aric Almirola, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Bubba. 335. Second place, Bug Barn. Bobby Graham, 323. Third, past champion, Smothered and Covered, 314. Fourth, Northwest Nitro, 306. Tied with Mrs. Black Ice, also 306. Sixth, Day Racing 21. Seventh, Craig and Newhall, Hanging Tough. Eighth, Beats 41. Ninth, DRT 99. 10th, Car 24 Fan, tied with Sacramento Racing Fan. Do two more. Spider Monkey Racing is 12th, 13th, Elephant Racers. So we got a Spider Monkey and we got an Elephant, 12th and 13th. But now it's time for the overall score. What is the overall score? That is going to be very interesting to see because we have had a change at the top. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'll talk about the Red Sox in the abbreviated Sports Collision coming up in just a couple of minutes. Bug Barn has taken the lead from Los Chincones by 7 points. Low falling back after a nightmare out there at the Dega. I had a nightmare too. Like, I had one of my worst fantasy days ever. Without rehashing it and taking me back to a dark place, every decision I made went the other way. My bench would have been a 300-point day. I would have won the week with my bench. I would have won the week with my bench. Instead, I finished near last. So it just goes to show you, bad decisions. Los Chincones second, 7 back. Gio in Miami, third, 36 back. So we've got a 3-horse race at the top. Bobby's Bug Barn, Los Chincones, Gio in Miami. This is going to be one of the most entertaining stretch runs we've ever seen. Craig and Newhall 4th, Mr. Fantasy NASCAR 5th, 129 back. Elephant Racers 6th, Black Falcon 7th, Day Racing 21 8th, 9th Millerman 2 Brian, all within 200 points. Uper 1, 206 back in 10th. You got Smothered and Covered, 217 back. All of these teams, depending on what they've been doing strategy-wise, have got a shot to be special and get their name on the team, on the trophy. Let's go on the 5s. 15th, Highline Real Fine. 20th, Mrs. Black Ice. 25th, Woodchuck behind Team 12 and ahead of Hockey Kid. 30th, Willie B. Racing. Look at Little Low. Butt Sniffer Racing, 27th. Pretty good. Down 3, though. Ahead of Stubo. Driving Hard, Willie B. Racing, 30th. 35th, Tennessee Moneyman. Ahead of Spider Monkey, who's 37th, and Hoggy Dad. 40th, Car 24 Fan. 45th, Northwest Nitro. 50th, WFO Joe. Down 11. Awful. But ahead of Fleet Tree, 53rd, and 54th, Rich and Saugus. 55th, JJ Husker Fan. 60th, Moonchild. 65th, Catch Me. And these are people who quit playing. And there it is for the Fantasy League. It is going to be wild down the stretch. What do you got? Will it be Geo? Will it be Low? Will it be Bug Barn? Will it be Craig and Newhall? Will it be Mr. Fantasy NASCAR? You'll just have to stay tuned and see. But the Fantasy League is really, really ramped up. The Fantasy League really ramped up. All right, next up, obviously headed to Kansas this weekend. We got Formula One. NHRA is off. We're headed to Vegas the following weekend. But it is time for the Sports Collision, a rapid-fire Sports Collision. Miami Dolphins, unbelievable comeback. Great game against the Chicago Bears. If you're a Bears fan, you hated the game, but it was very exciting. University of Miami Hurricanes, lost, season over. Turn of a chain. Lost on the road, what are you going to do? Let's talk baseball. It is going to be the ultimate in-your-face to New York Yankee fans. And we deserve it. We deserve it for not showing up against the Red Sox and the bad managing and everything that happened, not knowing the time of the game, tipping the pitches, all of it. You get a Red Sox-Dodgers World Series. Now, that's what it's feeling like. The Red Sox are going. Low, you're going. Print your tickets. You're going. After that catch they made last night, if it drops, they lose. The guy makes a, acrobatic circus catch right off his shoelaces. They win. That's the kind of luck. That's when you know. That's how you know the cosmos is on your side. That's how you know the cosmos is on your side. And the cosmos is on the Red Sox fans' side. Giovanni's pick last week where he told you to, place a wager on X and then take the winnings and put it on the Patriots and bet your house and that's why you should not do that, because he lost both. Both were losers. Both were losers. Total losers. The first game, you make a little money and build up your stash and then you bet it all. Nope. Loser, loser. Very exciting game. The Chiefs and Tom Brady, Patriots, but Brady gets the win. And that's the changing of the guard right there. You see it. It usually happens that way. Like Peyton Manning and Dan Marino battling, and it was Marino winning out, but Peyton went on to have an unbelievable career. So there's your sports collision. The World Series, I just can feel it coming. It's going to be a Dodgers, Red Sox, the worst possible combination for a New York Yankee fan, which is fine. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I believe that these kind of things are, good motivators for the following year. Good motivator for the following year. Now, a couple other notes, a couple other things as you get ready for the weekend, right? As you get ready for the weekend. One, all kinds of great stuff up on our social media. Two, if you can use the tickets to Homestead Miami Speedway, you need to reach out and let us know. Joe at WFOradio.com. Because soon we are going to open it up to new listeners to win. Like, these tickets can be utilized to hook in some brand new listeners who have never listened to the podcast ever before. But we want to make sure that our audience gets first crack, the longtime listeners. And so, Joe at WFOradio.com if you want in on the list. Okay? There's a video in our WFO group of that Boston Dynamics dog robot thing. It's dancing to Bruno Mars. It is now definitely over for us. You put some sort of laser zapper on this thing and let it chase people around. You give it a grenade to throw at people. It's over. It's over. But get on the Facebook page, get into the Facebook group, follow us on Twitter, all of that stuff going on. All right, everybody. That's going to do it. Yeah, this was a quick one. And I guess you made it to the end. I can tell you, I did a much longer version of this and had a computer glitch wipe it out. I went to the backup, and the backup just didn't sound good enough for you folks. And so I decided that I'm going to just go right back into it. I was very upset for a moment. Go right back into it, and this is the product. It's WFO on crack, meaning much quicker, higher speed, higher rate of speed. I don't know if that's even accurate because I don't know what it's like to be on crack. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on Good Morning America. I shared that on the Twitter machine. Check that interview out with Michael Strahan. I thought it was good. I thought Dale Jr. was good. He talked about how injured he was. He's got a book coming out, of course. Maybe we can get Dale Jr. on the show to talk about his book, Sell Copy. Had a lot of people come out in Charlotte and say positive things about WFO. Here's the deal. We're at the end of the season now. WFO is going to go right into the off season. Hopefully you use our sponsors for your Christmas gifts and all of that. But we're going to keep on going right into the off season because that's when we gain many listeners. A lot of other racing stuff stops and we continue. We will continue. It was great being out there, but one of the things that we did on NHRA's social media page has gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I just want to make you aware of it. We did a drive around the pits with one of the stock eliminator racers, McNeil Freeman, in the back seat of his race car, which typically race cars don't have back seats, and that's what makes it interesting. So go check it out. It's on NHRA's Facebook page. It's on our Facebook page. You can find it, and it will be pretty cool. And just like that, this abbreviated rapid-fire version of WFO Ignition, sponsored by audible.com/WFO Ignition, is over. Giovanni in Miami not making an appearance because he's hard at work. Everybody was going to call in, and it's just like, you know what? This is my time to connect with the WFO listeners. It was like this for a while. And doing the show, a podcast for you folks in situations like this, knowing it's late in the week, and this might just be the half hour that gets you to happy hour, 4 to 5. In fact, I recommend you all listen at 4:30, the final countdown, right? The final countdown. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for listening to WFO Ignition. Remember, we're on Patreon. We got a new Patreon. Jeff is on Patreon, and the reward for being on Patreon is nothing. There has been no new content for the Patreon. But don't worry, we'll get you something. That's how it goes. It comes in spurts, right? It comes in spurts. We'll get into that. All right, everybody, that's it. Have a great weekend. If you're going to Circuit of the Americas, be sure to post some photos. We want to see what you do. If you're going to be in Kansas, I'd like to see some photos, too. And in the meantime, go back into the archive, download the app, write us a review. All of that stuff, we appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. WFO.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Bye, bye, bye.
This is WFO Radio.
WFO Radio is brought to you in part by Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com.
CatSpotLitter.com. Got to check him out. Cat Spot Litter, new supporter of WFO Radio.
The School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, samtech.edu. Education at full speed.
Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets. You got to call David directly. 724-318-8292. Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets for you engine builders out there. These guys are supporting WFO. Check them out. It is husseyperformance.net.
RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Gourmet coffee, hot sauce, spice rub, everything good. Rodax.
Aerospace Components. High-quality components made in America for over 30 years. Check it out. That's aerospacecomponents.com. Let them know you heard it on WFO.
This is WFO Radio.